Welcome back. Here is my third video for our cat dissection. I think I'm going to cut into the digestive system first, go into our abdominal cavity first, and then I'll work my way back up towards the top. So if some of you are a little squeamish and don't want to see me actually cutting the cat, you can go ahead and turn away right now and I will tell you when to look. Otherwise, for those of you interested, I'm just making a single incision down the center of that rectus femoris muscle. Trying to keep my scissor tips up as I go so that I don't poke into any of the organs. And now I'm making some lateral cuts towards the sides so that I can open the flaps really far for you to be able to see. Again, if this bothers you, don't look yet. I haven't quite got it all done yet. Almost there. All right, if you don't like to see the cutting part, right now you're going to see just a bunch of kind of grossness. Some of this tissue has started to break down in here, so you can actually see some of the tissue breakdown here inside. Over the top, this is that really nasty greater omentum, which is a big apron that protects the entire abdominal cavity and all of the intestines. So if you want to see the actual intestines, you have to lift that up to see them. And there we have it. We have both our small and our large intestine right in there, and I'll compare the differences. Here's our spleen right here. It kind of looks like a big tongue on the side. Here's one of the kidneys that I'll eventually get to. Here is the liver. They have many, many lobes to their liver, anywhere from 4 to 7 lobes, depending. About 5 here in this one. This is the stomach. And so connected to the stomach is the small intestine. And then over here is going to be another kidney. There it is. It's hiding back there amongst all the connective tissue and some of this really gross tissue that's breaking down. This is the bladder right here for the cat. So let me start by removing this right here. This is really, really flimsy and light, and so it can actually be ripped off. I gotta be careful right here by the spleen. See these little rubber band things? These are pinkish. Those are some arteries since they're pink. These cats have been dyed with both pink and blue latex injections so that we can tell an artery from a vein. Cut this up a little bit farther for you. All right. So right here is the diaphragm muscle that separates the thoracic from the abdominal pelvic cavity. And tucked right inside the liver right there, there's our gallbladder. Sometimes people get gallstones in that. All right, well, let's see here. What do we want to do? Shall I? Yeah. All right, so our intestines are all held together here by mesentery. That's all this clear stuff here. And that mesentery is filled with lots of blood vessels, and so that helps to keep your intestines alive and able to get the oxygen and nutrients that it needs throughout the day. But again, it's really flimsy. So notice I can literally just with my fingers pull it apart. But there you can start to see a lot of those blood vessels that are in there because there's a bunch of the arteries right there in pink. But just to show you that this is one great big long tube, this is one thing that we usually do during the dissection, is we try to take all of these abdominal organs out so we can see each one of them and where they start and where they end, and see how really truly long that our intestines really are, or I should say our cats are. Ours are too. At least you don't have to smell the smell right now. And yeah. So here I have separated most of the intestines. I still got a little section up here that I need to do, but we're getting there. A lot of connective tissue in here, and a lot of arteries and veins. There's some fat. Get that out of there. Oh yeah. Now we're getting there. Haha. All right. So there we go. Here is the cat's stomach, right there. That big pouch, that whole thing right here. And then that would lead into the small intestine, which starts with the duodenum. And then the middle part is called the jejunum. And then the end part is the ileum. And when you get to this really weird big fat structure that looks like it's not at the right angle here, this is the beginning of the large intestine. And so the ileocecal sphincter would be right in between here. And so this pouch right here is called the cecum. And then that goes right into their colon, which is their large intestine, just like ours. And then you can see as I follow that down here, that's going to lead all the way into the cat, which goes right out into the anus, and that's where the poop comes out of the cat. Lovely details, huh? Let's see, if I move those out of the way, we are going to see this right here, which sometimes blends in right by the stomach. Okay, so here's that spleen that looks like a tongue. And this was some of the omentum. I think I ripped it off. I think I lost some of it. Oh no, there it is right there. The pancreas, which is making the insulin for us, and the glucagon to help us with our sugar regulation is tucked right here at the base of the stomach, and where it's going to connect right here. I kind of pulled it apart right there, but that right there is the pancreas. So for diabetics, theirs is not working well enough for them. And then again, here's the spleen that I moved out of the way, right there. And let's see if I detach the intestines for you. Let's get those out of the way. All right, so that's large and small connected. I can take the spleen out as well. It goes way over here. It's quite long. There we go. That is the spleen. Right here, that is the pancreas. And this whole thing here is the liver. And I will remove this for you as well so you can see that. Lots of connective tissue. Just like in you, everything's being held in there. Ta-da. Here is the liver, multiple lobes. Again, that little thing right there, and you can hopefully tell that it's got a different color to it. that is the gallbladder. So that's the bile in there, that's that greenish color. That's what's helping you to digest your fats into smaller droplets through that emulsification process. And then finally, I am going to remove the stomach. Normally it's described as being a J-shaped pouch like this. So right here, that tube that I cut, that's the esophagus. So coming from the back of your throat down, it leads into the stomach. And then right here is the end of the stomach. That's the pyloric end, and so that would be the pyloric sphincter in that end. And then sometimes we find worms and hairballs and things like that in these cat stomachs. Let's see if we find anything fun today. For most of you, this is not fun. It's pretty gross. No, we pretty much just have a bunch of mush food left over that the cat's stomach was digesting. I don't think I feel anything gross either. Well, bummer. No worms, no hairballs, just food. But there's another organ of the digestive system, and I think that concludes everything I needed to show you for the digestive system. So come on back for the next video on respiratory and cardiovascular.